It is Saturday night, February 22, 1946. You are parked on a quiet gravel road off Richmond Road on the outskirts of Texarkana, a small city that straddles the state line between Texas and Arkansas, half in one state, half in another. The kind of place where everybody knows everybody and Saturday nights are spent at the movies or parked on lovers' lanes listening to the radio. You are Jimmy Hollis, 24 years old. Mary Jeanne Larey, 19, is beside you. A man approaches the car. He is wearing a white burlap sack over his head. 2 holes cut where the eyes should be. Nothing visible beneath except darkness. He orders you out of the car at gunpoint. He beats Jimmy with the gun until his skull fractures in 3 places. He turns to Mary Jeanne. He sexually assaults her. When she tries to run, he chases her down the road. When police find them alive, Mary Jeanne tells them the man had a voice that was calm, almost quiet, like someone who had done this before. It is February 22, 1946. In the next 10 weeks, the Phantom Killer will attack 4 couples in the darkness around Texarkana. 5 of them will not survive. 3 will, and their descriptions will be the only physical evidence investigators ever have of who he is. He will never be identified. Texarkana will never fully recover. Texarkana in 1946 was the kind of American city that existed at the intersection of everything, geographically split between 2 states, culturally split between the post-war optimism sweeping the country and the deep southern conservatism of the Arkansas-Texas border region. Saturday nights were supposed to be safe again. The Texarkana Moonlight Murders took place over 10 weeks in 1946, when a number of young couples were attacked by the so-called Phantom Killer. The victims were ordinary people living ordinary post-war lives. Young couples parked on lovers' lanes, a farmer and his wife asleep in their home on a highway outside town. None of them had any connection to each other beyond the fact that they were in Texarkana at night, which was enough. Within weeks of the first attack, the town transformed. Residents rigged their homes with warning systems, objects tied together with string, pots and pans, tin cans, bottles, anything that would make a noise if the phantom approached. People stopped going out after dark. Churches reported higher attendance. Hardware stores ran out of locks. Gun sales surged. A city of approximately 44,000 people, half in Texas, half in Arkansas, became collectively afraid of the dark in a way that American cities simply were not supposed to be in 1946. The first attack, both survived. Mary Jeanne's description of the masked man, white burlap sack, eye holes, calm voice, became the template every subsequent survivor would confirm. Jimmy Hollis's skull was fractured in 3 places. He survived. He wrote a 14-page statement about the attack in 2007 to 61 years later, still trying to make sense of what had happened on that gravel road. 1 month after the first attack, Griffin, 29, and Moore, 17, were found shot to death in their car on a lonely road in Bowie County, Texas. Both had been shot in the back of the head at close range. Moore had been sexually assaulted. The car's ignition was still on. Whatever happened had been sudden and total, no time to run, no time to call for help. Martin, 16, and Booker, 15, had been playing at a local dance. Booker was a saxophone player performing with a local jazz band, a 15-year-old girl with a saxophone case who had been at a dance hall and was now dead on a rural road. Martin was found first. Booker's body was found nearly 4 miles away. She had been moved after death. The saxophone case was never recovered. The saxophone case has never been explained. The final attack was different from every previous one. Virgil Starks, 37, was a farmer sitting in his living room reading the newspaper when he was shot through the window. His wife Katie heard the shot, ran to him, and was herself shot through the jaw, losing teeth, the bullet exiting near her ear. She survived. She ran to a neighbor's house bleeding. While she was gone, the phantom entered the farmhouse and walked through it, leaving bloody footprints before leaving. Virgil Starks died in his chair. The newspaper was still in his hands. Katie Starks survived. She could not identify her attacker. She had never seen his face. After May 3, 1946, the Phantom Killer never struck again. He simply stopped. He walked out of the farmhouse on Highway 67, 10 miles outside Texarkana, and disappeared into American history. The Texas Rangers, the FBI under J. Edgar Hoover, and law enforcement agencies across both Arkansas and Texas launched one of the most intensive manhunts in the post-war South. Hundreds of people were questioned. Investigators had noticed that each time a murder occurred, a car was stolen nearby, suggesting the phantom was perhaps a car thief. That observation led them to Yoel Swinney. Yoel Swinney was 29 years old, a car thief and counterfeiter with a criminal history stretching back years. He had been in Texarkana during the attack period. His movements coincided with the timing of the crimes. "Mr. Johnson, what do you think they'll do to me for this? Will they give me the chair?" A car thief does not ask if he will get the chair. A murderer might. His wife Peggy knew more. She told investigators that Yoel had committed the murders, that she had been with him on multiple occasions, that she knew what he had done. Her testimony was detailed. It was specific. It named dates and locations that matched the crimes. And it was completely inadmissible. Under the laws of both Arkansas and Texas in 1946, a wife could not testify against her husband in a criminal proceeding. The spousal privilege, designed to protect the sanctity of marriage, protected Yoel Swinney from the only witness who could place him at the scene. In 1947, Yoel Swinney was jailed for life as a repeat offender for car theft but was released on appeal in 1973. He was never charged with the murders. He died in 1994. The Phantom Killer investigation, which had involved the Texas Rangers, the FBI, and multiple local law enforcement agencies across 2 states, produced no murder conviction. The institutional failure was specific and devastating. A legal doctrine designed to protect marriages had protected a man investigators believed had murdered 5 people and terrorized a city. The town of Texarkana has embraced the case as part of its identity, holding annual screenings of the 1976 film, maintaining historical markers at attack sites. But the cultural legacy of the Phantom Killer should not obscure what the case actually is. 5 unsolved murders, 3 traumatized survivors, a prime suspect who died in 1994 having never been charged, and a legal doctrine that may have protected a killer from justice for nearly half a century. Betty Jo Booker's saxophone case has never been found. The Phantom Killer has never been identified. The Phantom Killer case is behaviorally remarkable for reasons that extend far beyond the theatrical horror of the white burlap mask, because the behavioral evidence that exists points toward a specific, organized, and geographically rooted perpetrator whose profile has never been definitively matched to any named individual. Begin with the mask. A killer who constructs a mask before attacking is a killer who planned the attack in advance. The burlap sack with carefully cut eye holes is not improvised. It was made before the first attack on February 22, 1946. That preparation implies a perpetrator who had thought about what they were going to do, had decided to conceal their identity from survivors they anticipated would exist, and had chosen a specific type of disguise that would prevent facial recognition while allowing functional vision. This is organized predatory behavior, not impulsive violence. The survivor management is diagnostically significant. In the first attack, Jimmy Hollis was beaten unconscious and Mary Jeanne Larey was assaulted, but both were left alive. In subsequent attacks, victims were shot, a more lethal and definitive method. Behavioral analysts who study escalating serial violence consistently identify this pattern as tactical evolution, an offender who learns from early attacks and adjusts methodology to reduce the risk of survivor identification. The shift from assault to shooting between the first and second attacks suggests the Phantom realized that living witnesses created investigative risk and responded by changing his method to eliminate that risk. The survival of Mary Jeanne Larey, who provided the most detailed description available, may have directly contributed to that tactical shift. The stopping is the most behaviorally perplexing element of the entire case. After May 3, 1946, the Phantom Killer stopped. No further attacks. No further murders. No explanation. Behavioral science offers several frameworks for sudden cessation in serial violence. The perpetrator moved away, was incarcerated for an unrelated crime, died, married or entered a stabilizing relationship that reduced psychological pressure, or was frightened by the intensity of the investigation. The Swinney theory is consistent with the incarceration framework. Swinney was arrested in July 1946, 2 months after the final attack, and was incarcerated for the remainder of his life except for the 1973 to 1994 period. A 19th-century evidentiary rule designed for domestic privacy protection became the shield that may have allowed 5 murders to go unpunished. That institutional perversity, a rule designed to protect victims being used to protect a perpetrator, is the behavioral paradox at the center of this case. Mary Jeanne Larey was 19 years old on February 22, 1946. She was chased down a gravel road by a man in a burlap sack mask. She survived. She described him. Her description, calm voice, white mask, dark eyes through the slits, is the only direct witness account of the phantom killer that exists. Betty Jo Booker was 15 years old. She had been playing saxophone at a dance. Her saxophone case has never been found. The phantom killer has been unidentified for 79 years. Texarkana still screens the 1976 film every year. The attack sites still exist. The gravel road off Richmond Road is still there. Some towns carry their ghosts differently than others. Texarkana never put this one down.